Right, well, today we've got a customer's new set, and he's found it only did 2 watts, so he wants it optimizing, and he lives near Scotland, to be honest, and he wants me to optimize it for 80 channels, and he also wants to have a go using AM. Now, we don't normally do them for anything except the 40 UK channels or for FM, but he's specifically requested that, and so that is what we do. Incidentally, when customers ask for AM to be checked over, there is an additional charge because we have to go out of the programming. It's a bit of a faff, as you know. So there's no point doing it on all the sets we do because a lot of them are used by businesses locally. We're in a farming community, and the last thing they want is CEPT rattling some foreign interference into their tractors. So we'll connect this up to our power supply. And we'll take the lids off. I do have a service manual for this, and I press the print button on the printer, and the printer says shan't. So that's something to look at. Typical, isn't it? I don't know which lid's which. Shall we go? Shall we go for this one? I've not seen in one of these before. So it's TTI TCB1100. We've got one new in a box somewhere, but it's a nice DIN mounting radio, so you know it'll certainly look the job. It's about not to have a warranty anymore. I don't know what they made that warranty sticker out of, but it's holding the job up. I have to get a knife to it. So with having a front-forward speaker, we don't have the difficulty of having a speaker on the lid. So a lot of the electronics is on the front panel there. So I've looked at the circuit diagram in the service manual, and I've made some notes from the service manual. I just can't print it out. Printer says put paper in it, so put paper in it. Then it doesn't feed it, so it says put paper in it, but it doesn't feed it, so it says put paper in it. So we seem to be in this everlasting argument with the printer. So it's either fix a printer or fix a radio. And the difference is I get paid for doing this, I don't get paid for fixing the printer. So from my notes, where have I put them? Where did I put those? Oh, they fell on the floor. That's what we've got. So the microphone plug is 6-pin. We'll switch it on. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to set it for CPT channel 40. There's a button that says band on it somewhere. Oh, is it one of those that you carry on going up the channels? No. I'm glad he sent the instruction book, because I'm going to have to read it to find out how to change bands. Okay, so at the moment he's got it on UK, so it's UK 40 channels full watt. If you want it to do UK and EU, you set it to UE, and then it does the 40 UK and the 40 CPT channels FM. But if you want it to do CPT AM, it doesn't do that like that. You'd have to set it to EU. So it's simply going to be then CPT channels, 40 channels 4 watt, FM 4 watt, AM. So we're going to tune a set on channel 40 of EU, so it's in the centre of the band, because obviously the EU channels end at 27405 and the UK channels begin at 2760125. So either channel 1 of the UK or channel 40 of the EU is the centre of the band we want, within wanting all 80 channels. And because we're going to do AM, it will be prudent to program it for EU, and then we can access AM without any faff. So pressing the MOLCR button, turn on the transceiver, and then pressing the PTT button locks it into that. Right, so switch it off. So that one, switch it on. EU. So there we are. So we'll select channel 40, which will be 27405, and then when I press, is it band then? It become, we're on FM at the moment. No. Yeah, right. Well, so we're on that. How do we get it into AM when we want to do that? Or does it wrap round? So let's have a look. No, it doesn't wrap round. So we want mode of operation. It is. Ah, MO for mode. Right, anyway, we want it on FM at the moment. So I'll switch picture in picture on, and let's see how many watts we've got. So I've got it on the 2 watt, on the 3 watt scale. So the full scale deflection will be 3 watts, and it's actually doing about 2.7, so it's not far out there. So to tune up that, having looked at the service manual, we need to adjust RV104 for full whack, and it is where? 103, 102. 6, 2, 3, 5. "104 isn't fitted." Okay, so we'll just do the tune for now and just see what happens. So 701 and 703, L701 and 703. So there'll be 701 and 703. So let's see what we can gain. The answer is not a lot. They are now at optimum. So we've got a 12 volt adjust. Before I fiddle with that, I will just check where we are on the manual, just see whether that affects it. Yes, it does. Okay. So we've got 3.6. I've just now got it at full. We'll just do these coils again. It's dropping off quite rapidly as it heats up. Now I can't leave that at full. So we've got 4 watts there. So between that and the L10, 701, 703, we've managed to achieve, well, 4 watts ish when it's cold. It's a bit less than that at the moment. So that's a start in the right direction. So FM deviation is 107. So 107. Which is the one down here. So we'll set the deviation meter because we're normally doing UK channels, so we have to reset this. Wallow. And with the little oscillator we have, we'll see where that is. So it's 1.5. So we want it somewhere near 2.2. The absolute maximum with the oscillator is 2. Wallow, wallow, 1, 2, wallow, 1, 2. Just drop that off a fraction with the speech. Go back on the oscillator for ease of adjustment. That should do. Wallow, 1, 2. There we go. So we've got that. Now if I hang on to that, we need to do AM. So we'll quickly flick it over to AM. And the power we have on AM is again 3.9 watts. And we now need to look at AM percentage on here. Wallow, 1, 2, wallow, 1, 2, wallow. So that's doing 90 odd percent, so that's absolutely fine without any adjustment whatsoever. And so RV102, which is AM mod, if we needed to have adjusted it, it's there. But we don't, as you can see on the meter, that is spot on where it should be. The next thing we want to do is to just check the frequency. I'm going to go back to FM. No, I'm not. I'm lying to you. I'm going to stay on AM. Because it's easier to tune the radio on AM than it is on FM. When I was doing the servicing on a shoestring, on the sets with AM capability, I showed how an old clunker of a £10 valve signal generator picked up so easily on eBay for that tiny kind of money. can be used to tune a modern CB radio into just an AF voltmeter. None of the cyanide meters or anything, because it's so easy. All you've got to do for the FM is set the detector. So if a radio's got AM and you've got very little resources to buy an FM signal generator, those old clunky AM ones can be had for next to nothing. So I want camera 2, and we'll move over to the frequency display there. So we're looking at 27405. Now that is spot on, isn't it? 27405. So the adjustment for that, if we were having to adjust, this is a good radio, isn't it? Not having, there's two things we haven't had to adjust. I'll have to give him a refund. Is there next to the crystal, the trimmer, the red trimmer there, CT1, would be adjusting the frequency if we needed to do that. So we'll put the little meter away, and the oscillator. So as far as I can see, we're actually done on transmit. Just for a laugh, let's put it on the spectrum analyzer. I'll go back onto FM for that. It's easier to see on the spectrum analyzer. So I'll move the camera up to that, and then we'll go back on to record. So if I press auto on there and key up, it'll have a quick scan, and there we are. So with that, as you can see, it says no, that wasn't ideal. It's misdone that. Do it by hand. 27405. So there we have 27405, and if we go up and we go down, just clean as a whistle. Good, so we'll come out of that, and I'll set the things up for receive. Okay, so here we are with the receiver, and we've got the signal generator on AM, we've got the radio on AM. They're easy to tune, as I say, on AM. I could use an AF voltmeter, but we're set up really for FM on this bench, and we'll use the cyanide meter. So as usual, we'll have it set about 4 decibels on the cyanide meter, so it's very noticeable. And the first coil we're going to adjust is L101. Oh, they are actually adjustable, these tiny coils, are they? I'll need a smaller tool than that. So, what have we got? 107, 104. We'll do 104. 107. 110. and then we'll flick over to FM. And we'll do the detector, so I'll just move the camera down onto the oscilloscope. We'll put S9 on. There's S9 equivalent, 100 microvolts. And we need to do L110, which is that one. I've just gone and upset the AM detector. We'll have to go back on that. It's 109. And as we can see, that was already set up spot on. We'll go back to AM. And just touch up the AM detector again. I've done it again, haven't I? I've done the wrong one. 110 is the AM. There we go. Goes back to FM. S9. 109 is FM. There we go. Go back to AM. We'll just see if we can, you know, it says these are adjustable. Well, the circuit diagram says they're adjustable. So we've got a tool that fits. One I've never used before. So we'll go back to FM and we'll see what the synad's doing. Before we do that, I think this is one of those where we've got to look at the quality. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at synad. So for 20, if it does it, it's what? 1.8. Not like that max on yesterday. 12 decibel. About there. 0.49. For 10 decibel. We're not quite on that scale. .38. So next it's going to be Squelch. So I'm going to set the Squelch to full, and then we'll advance the signal generator to S9. It's spot on, absolutely spot on. Now if we'd have needed to adjust that, this is another one we haven't not having to adjust. It is RV101. .101. RV101, yes, centre of the board there. So we're not going to adjust that because it's already spot on. So we'll see how sensitive that works. So I'm going to switch the signal generator off. I've parked it at 0.3 of a microvolt, and we'll put the Squelch down to threshold. Switch the signal generator on. It's straight in. So this, it's coming in, the Squelch is coming in, is opening at 0.21 of a microvolt, and it's closing at 0.15 of a microvolts. That's good and sensitive. So the fact the sound's not as good as this just tells us it's got noisier transistors. It doesn't mean it's insensitive. So if we now turn the Squelch off, you can hear this all the way down to about 0.13 of a microvolt. So in the auto Squelch, or whatever it's called, let's see what it does. It's coming in at $2 microvolts, and it's disappearing off at 0.19 of a microvolt. So it's quite a useful Squelch range. Now this isn't mentioned in the service manual, but there's a control there that says DSS, and I would think that's going to be the automatic Squelch. I might be wrong, but I can't find that in the service manual, so we're not going to be touching it. Also not in the service manual is the S meter adjustment, and there is an adjustment. There isn't an RF meter, because like a lot of modern sets, it isn't really an RF meter. When we key up, I'll just turn this down wherever volume is. When we key up, we get a full set of bars, but it means absolutely nothing. In fact, I'll tell you what, we'll turn the power down, see whether that goes down in sympathy. So, yeah. No, it doesn't alter at all. So S meter. So I put 100 microvolts on. So as you can see, we've got 1, 3, 5. So let's just pop that up again, because we have got S9, which is 100 microvolts on the signal generator. There we are. That's what we want. So now, as we turn the signal down on the signal generator, it's going down, and if we go beyond S9, it gives us plus 30. So, but it's not in as many bars as you think. They're in twos. So we've got 1, 3, 5, 9, and 30. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You've only got 5 bars, but it's spread out as 10. So it's a bit of bull, isn't it? So the fact we press transmit is nothing more than a TX light, as I keep saying on these modern radios. So the only thing I'm going to do, we'll just check that I've set RV106. I don't want that to be too high. I'm going to just check with the service manual that that's correct. So we'll come back to that. But other than that, we're done. Right, so we're now on the aerial. So if we go into of course we can't go into anything, can we? Tell you what, I'll just flick round the CPT channels in FM. So that's there, and we'll just press scan. There we go, nothing. So switch it off and put it into UK. There we go. Press scan now. Oh, somebody's having a good chat on 14. One on a Roger. Right, oh, the other thing this radio's got is CTCSS, which is all programmable from the menus within the menus that you can imagine this radio actually does have. So you do need the instruction book, like I had to find the instruction book to see how to program it to get into the European channels and then subsequently AM. And on the back it does have an extension S meter socket, which is nice if you're into that kind of thing. And there we go. So detachable power lead as well. So potentially a nice radio, but not as sensitive as some. But I'm sure it's going to work very well on the scratchy corner test, which we'll do later on today. So there you have it, the TTI, TCB1100, AM, FM, UK and EU, all serviced as requested by the customer. Thank you for watching.